All right, so Nikki recommended a couple of movies. Talk about it.
Yeah. All right. So, I recommended the Dead Trilogy. So that involves Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead. I'm
Nice.
pretty excited.
Yeah.
Nice.
Classics by George A. Romero. I did the same thing because I wanted to keep consistency because I'm funny like that.
Okay.
Romero.
Irony.
So who liked the first movie?
Not me.
I think we all did.
I
I
did.
think we all like.
I enjoyed it.
I've never
Classic.
seen a more consistent rating of a movie in Kistopia ever.
Wait,
Literally.
what do we give it?
Yeah.
We
Everyone-
literally all mostly everybody gave it the same rating. There's
A
only like
7?
one or two people who deviated
Yeah.
slightly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Gotcha.
got my
It's
rating like a half
fucking
star.
hilarious. All right, well,
Okay, who's starting then?
yeah, okay. You know what? Here, I'll do it. Okay, so Grub, I want you to start by giving your brief thoughts on the movie, and then we'll go in order. Then I'll just pick an order and go. All right.
Alright. Okay, well, I've already seen it before, but revisiting it's way dated than I remember. Um, has a lot of innovative ideas, but just most of it has aged terribly. Just some weird stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun, but yeah, that's the main problem. Some of the cheesy aspects can just be annoying.
Yeah.
Old movie.
I get that. All right, Jacob.
All right, yeah. I mean, basically what Grubb said. It's cheesy as hell, but it's not really fun. It's the one that I actually had the most fun with, and yeah, I just a lot of the ideas are kind of ahead of its time, and yeah, I just had a lot of fun with it.
Finkel, how about you?
Uh, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I can understand not liking the dated aspects, but for me, it just made it more entertaining. And the third act is probably one of my favorite third acts, honestly. I thought it was really well done, especially the ending. The ending was great.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's
All
basically
right.
all I was-
Sorry. Nikki's muted. Seth, how about you?
I mean, I think I like it the least out of everyone. I don't enjoy it very much at all. I kind of just
Boo.
thought, okay, it's like I don't know. I feel like yeah, I mainly just appreciate the groundbreaking aspects.
Yeah.
But I did just find the film to be a fucking drag, and I understand like the social commentary, and I understand like the like how it was innovative, but to me,
Feel that.
I just think the characters are fucking lame, and I just think the fucking I don't know. I just find it boring. It's not my thing.
It's okay. All right.
It's still a good movie.
All
You're
right.
just clicking away back there. I find it so funny.
All right. All right.
Like,
Moving on. Moving on. Nikki, how about you? What'd you think of Night of the Living Dead?
I really enjoyed the movie. Considering it's like the first zombie movie, I think they did a pretty good job. I don't know. I just kind of like the gothic feel to the movie, honestly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
very true. I forgot to mention that, but yeah.
Alrighty. Aaron.
What's more to say? You know, it's the granddad of all zombie movies. It's great. It's fun. It's thrilling. It's goofy, but it's charming. You know, they did what
Yeah.
they could. They just went out there and
They
made a
worked with
movie.
what they
I
got.
respected it so much, and I
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah. We'll get into a lot of the respectable stuff in a minute. Bob,
Mhm.
what do you think of Night of the Living Dead?
Okay, I think it's fucking boring as shit, and I get nothing out of it, but I appreciate it a lot, and that's it.
All right. Okay, okay, guys,
I'm just
calm
being
down.
honest, bro.
Calm down.
Fantastic.
Slow down.
Sorry. It's just funny.
All right. I'll go next. I can't say I ever found it boring. I think the charm of the low budget and the actors and director clearly just giving it their all, wanting to make something that they genuinely cared about. I think that really carried a lot of the investment for me. I really enjoyed the effects. I enjoyed the main character in Ben. I enjoyed I really enjoyed the third act. I agree with Finkel. It has a great third act. You know, and out of all the Dead movies, I think it has easily the best ending, even though the ending's kind of a kick in the nuts. But it's still a pretty good movie, even though yeah, it's incredibly flawed to the core. But you know, I mean, I appreciate it. There's a chance we wouldn't have, and by a chance I mean there's no way we would have a lot of great zombie or monster movies without Night of the Living Dead. They kind of owe their existence to that movie, quite honestly.
Very true.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know, I it has its place in cinema, and I think that everybody who even remotely gives a shit about film in any way should check it out at some point.
For sure.
True.
All right, and last but certainly not least, Vinny, what'd you think of Night of the Living Dead?
Hello. First off, I would like to say thank you guys for inviting me to Kistopia. And
Of course.
Of course.
Of
secondly,
course.
overall, upon rewatch, I think I liked it a lot more on the second watch. I think it's got a lot to appreciate about it. It's a classic. It created a genre. I really love the way that exposition is laid out into the film. I think it's done in a very natural way, as well as benefits for the characters. I think it has the best characters of the trilogy, and I think what really helps it out is that it's a movie that's very considerate of its limitations. I think it's very similar to something in that Evil Dead, not tonally, but in terms of how very low budget, and it's very considerate of how it tells the story and the way that it sort of goes through the motions of the narrative. And I think that movie, it really helps the film a lot, like all the way it's shot and the way it's made and the way the characters act. And yeah, the ending is incredible, and I think that's what really seals the movie in for me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I want to start by actually talking about the ending for a minute, and actually more of how it came to be incredibly infamous. So I think by now we all know that like the casting of Dwayne Jones as Ben was not really like done because of his skin color. He legitimately just happened to have the best audition out of all the actors. He wrote the character for a white guy, but it just so happened that Dwayne Jones, who happens to be black, gave the best audition. So Romero cast Jones without really thinking that like it would have any like racial implications. But the film was made in like the late '60s, at the height of the civil rights movement. So I think that was kind of like a Romero not really understanding the kind of implications he was making. He clearly didn't understand or didn't care, because he just wanted to make a film about zombies. He clearly didn't want to make a film about racial oppression or anything like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't feel like qualified to talk about anything like about any kind of racial oppression. But I think that like when you address Night of the Living Dead and its impact, I think you at least have to just address the issue head on. You just kind of have to talk about it, because its what's the word? Its effect is very clear, and I just think it's interesting that it all started because it just so happened that Dwayne Jones gave the best audition, and apparently like he was like actually nearly attacked on set by, well, not on set, but like by people living in the town where they were filming. Apparently like a bunch of teenagers like stalked the dude and like threatened him with a tire iron or something like that. Yeah. It's clear that casting an African American man as the main character like would have some sort of impact, even though Romero didn't really intend that.
It was
Well, I think
perfect accident.
Yeah.
This is the high point of the movie for me. Was his
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He's
Yeah,
really
great
good.
performance for sure.
Yeah. What's funny is that Dwayne Jones hasn't seen any of the other Dead movies, or didn't watch any of the, and he didn't watch. I don't think he watched the entirety of Night of the Living Dead, and he never watched a single movie in the trilogy ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, prior to that acting, I think he was mostly like a professor or something.
Mhm.
Which is like most of the things he had to do in that movie, he changed because he just couldn't bring himself to it. Like he didn't like holding a gun or a rifle. Like he thought it was very out of character for himself, and like he like the original role was written for like a trucker dude. So it's like it makes sense like that he would like when that slap happened, he didn't want to do that, but you know they obviously had to do that so they could
Yeah, he like
move the plot
apologized to her
forward.
after.
Yeah. So it's like it's really cool that you know Romero just casted whoever was the best, and you know as it should be.
And I think that's
Yeah.
a testament to how much he cared about his movie.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
He wanted the best out of everybody, and it just so happened that Dwayne gave the best performance or best audition. Sorry. So he was like, "Yeah, you're my guy."
You can really tell. I mean, obviously, with the Dead trilogy, there is still clear social commentary, even though with Night it's much more vague in terms of like he was playing around with this idea of the other, essentially, like that concept in horror, which is like a very prevalent thing in the horror genre, especially at that time. And it's
Because
sort
it
of
wasn't
like
intentional, like the other two movies.
it sort of
Yeah.
transformed
Yeah.
like how King Kong like wasn't intended to be like a slave metaphor, and then it sort of turned into that, and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the best thing about Night of the Living Dead's message is that it is so timeless. Like,
Yeah.
I could watch like obviously Grub. I do agree with you. There's a lot of it that is most of it is incredibly dated, like
Yeah.
disturbingly dated, like seriously.
Mhm.
But I think that its emotional high point, the ending and the message
The ending is awesome.
Yeah.
is timeless, and
It
that's
is.
kind of what that kind of fascinates me. That the biggest thing that people remember about the movie, obviously, is just something that wasn't even meant to happen.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Definitely got the best ending of the trilogy. I agree.
For sure.
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah, it's the most.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like the most. It's the most quite sad as well, isn't it? In its own way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up, yeah. And it's. I think that. I mean, that it's more of a horror than the other. Two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
definitely.
more straightforward horror movie. The other two are like action movies,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dawn especially.
Honestly, yeah, definitely an action.
Yeah,
Does
definitely.
anybody have anything to say about the other characters aside from Ben?
No, I didn't like them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really like him.
The woman. I forgot her fucking name. The main.
Barbara.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's-
coming
Barbara,
to
yeah.
get you, Barbara.
Yeah.
I
didn't
hated
care for
her
Barbara.
performance.
Yeah, she's
She was so annoying.
Yeah,
I find it. I'm glad that Romero kind of evolved
Yeah.
throughout his career, because I mean, the other female characters in the other two Dead movies are much better, and even Barbara in the remake of Night of the Living Dead is apparently like a strong female character, and I put that in huge quotations because apparently that movie isn't very good. But you know,
I just kind of felt the other two women in there weren't. Sorry, the other woman. She was just there as a wife, really. She didn't really serve
yeah,
too much of a purpose.
she went to the cemetery. Her brother got fucking murked by a zombie, and then she ran into Ben, did nothing, and then died.
It-
That was her character.
That's exactly her character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like
It-
they had to be women.
Yeah, I didn't care for her character, and I didn't care for her death. The only death that I guess kind of felt like just a little bit was the dude and his girlfriend. I can't remember his name. Not
Yeah.
the dude, not the couple with the child. The other
Yeah,
two
Tom.
who
Tom and
yeah,
Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because their characters were. I mean, we got some time with them. We got like they actually contributed a little bit. Like they had a bit more character, and then that made their
No,
that
I
made
think
their scene, their penultimate scene where they died, a bit more effective
yeah,
to
but they
me.
were still so blunt to me. It's
No,
kind
no,
of,
no, I agree.
yeah, they were better written than the rest, but like they were still kind of bland, and
Yeah.
they didn't have much of a purpose to me, just to be survivors.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I really don't have anything else to add to that. That's
No,
pretty.
yeah,
That
it's
hits the nail on the head.
Really, it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Dawn has a lot more to talk about.
Well,
Yeah.
I do have one
Yeah.
more thing to address. Apparently, Tom Savini, the dude who worked on the other two Dead movies with zombie makeup and the violence,
Yeah.
obviously, he apparently was supposed to be working on Night of the Living Dead. He apparently was supposed to be there, but I guess I think he was serving in Vietnam at the time, and
Yeah.
I think that he's gone on record and said that like a lot of his inspiration for Dawn of the Dead and
Mhm.
Day of the Dead's effects come from his time in Vietnam as a combat photographer.
That makes a lot of sense, especially with Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's just so much brutality in both the movies. It's like, oh god.
Yeah.
I guess Tom Savini has seen some shit. I mean, Christ, there's some really brutal stuff in both movies. I wonder what he fucking saw over there.
Especially in Day. Day is fucking
Yeah, especially
Day is
Day.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's got some fucked up.
I
It's
mean,
cool.
does anybody
I
have
like-
anything
I-
else to add tonight?
I was just
Oh,
gonna
wait,
say
I thought
I'd
we
like
were
to
moving.
think of like the zombies in Night of the Dead as like ghouls or some shit. Like they're mostly like
Yeah.
yeah, it's outdated.
Yeah,
but
like they're
it's
not fully
cool to
developed.
yeah, exactly. It's like very cool to see like the origins of like like where these this whole subgenre
Where zombies
I
came
guess.
from. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I definitely want to buy the Criterion Blu-ray to check out the supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
I
heard
would
that's a
really
great
love to
Blu-ray.
s-
I've heard that Criterion is great. To
There's
be honest.
a
I would
there's
love
a rough
to
cut
see
of
a behind the
this movie.
scenes featurette.
Yeah,
The
what
rough
about
cut
that?
of this movie is actually called the original title for this was going to be called Night of Anubis, which is based off the Egyptian god or some shit. But since nobody knew, nobody knew who Anubis was, so they were like, all right, let's change it to what was it?
That's
Night of the
so
Night of the Flesh Eaters. But then there was another movie called Night of the Flesh Eaters or some shit like that. So they're like, crap,
Yeah.
we got to change the title again. So it's funny how the original title was Night of Anubis.
Well, alrighty then.
Right.
Nice
One
way
more
to end
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just something that I wasn't prepared for how often I just forgot how like original zombies are just like so lumbering and slow because they're
Yeah.
just, and I just rewatching these movies was just like god damn, these motherfuckers are like unbearably like there's like, an entire scene in Night where like Ben is able to drag a bunch of zombies out of the house, light them on fire, and then close the door before like any of them get even torched.
Yeah.
That's
I
the thing,
kind of find it. Oh, sorry. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say like Romero has like disowned any zombie that runs because he's like, zombies aren't supposed to run. Their ankles are broken or some shit like that. It's like
Oh
Ankles are
yeah.
broken.
Yeah, that's why
That
he
is
never
such a
made them
weird
run.
fucking thing to say. I would
They do
honestly
look kind
picture
of
it as like
broken, but
no,
when you
no,
look-
that's why. I mean, I like zombies that run is scary and all, but I think that like when I think of zombie, I think of slow moving zombies
yeah.
only
Yeah.
because I mean they're dead. I don't picture zombies as having like there are
World War Z.
Okay, don't get me wrong. There are
Train to
movies with
Busan.
running zombies. There are movies with running zombies that I love, like 28 Days Later. But at
Yeah.
the same time, when I picture like a zombie, I picture one that moves slow because I picture like a dead body. I don't picture a dead body running. Honestly,
Well-
it just I picture it slow, lumbering.
Yeah,
like
true.
I know The Walking Dead did that for like the first season, and then they went back to like the slow moving zombie where they can't run.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just weird seeing like a zombie running because you like in your head you think that they're supposed to be running slow. So when it happens, you're like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah,
Well, what do
exactly.
you guys
Yeah,
think
but I
about?
mean, there are movies out there with running zombies that are great.
No, yeah, no.
No doubt.
Definitely.
What
28
about
days later,
zombies having
they're
babies?
not really like dead. They're just like infected with like a disease.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot to mention that. One more thing I want to mention is that I find it kind of funny how zombies were introduced to being like somewhat able to use like tools. Like, you know how the first zombie uses the rock to break into the car in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore. You don't see zombies using tools like that anymore. Well, you do, but like, I mean, it's more looked down upon because you definitely don't see that in like the famous zombie movies much. There's
Well,
like
it-
one
Well,
moment
in like Army of the Dead, one of the zombies rode a horse and had a shield. So
I mean, but that's
Yeah, the zombies.
but that's not like a quintessential zombie movie. That's just
Are you
a
sure?
product of it. Yeah,
I think it's
I'm
quintessential.
pretty fucking sure. There's like one moment in The Walking Dead where you can see a zombie using a rock, I think, because I actually rewatched the first season a little while back, and I noticed that one of them was using a rock, and you never see anything like that again. Not even for the rest of that season, but like
Yeah.
literally for the rest of the series, you don't see that again. So I think it's just kind of interesting how zombies started out like using rocks to break through windows to get at their
Yeah.
prey. But
Seemed
now
really
they-
intelligent, didn't they?
But now all they're known as is just zombies who could only comprehend that their food is in front of them and nothing else.
Yeah.
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 all right.
Okay. I mean, do we have anything else to say about Night of the Living Dead? Did anybody feel like they didn't talk enough and want to share something else or anything like that? Like,
I got nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Night of Anubis.
well,
Let's just
alrighty
move
then.
on, bro.
All right. Well, hold on. All right, we got to do ratings. So,
Question.
let's get ready for the most boring rating segment of this video because we all rated it the fucking same.
Pretty much.
Grub,
Nah, bro.
what would you rate Night of the Living Dead out of 10?
7 out of 10.
Alrighty. Jacob,
7.
okay. Finkel,
Strong 8 out of 10.
oh,
Sheesh.
all right. Nikki,
A 7 out of 10.
alrighty then. Death,
Very, very, very light 6.
alright.
Sheesh.
Bob left.
True.
Yeah, I think
They
he gave
said
it
they
like
have to go.
a 5,
Yeah,
right?
I thought he gave it a 7.
6. That's,
They
or,
gave it a 6.
Oh, okay,
6.
well, alright. Aaron,
7 out of 10.
alright. And I'm Vinny.
All right, I'm giving this a light to decent 8.
Hell yeah.
Sheesh.
And I'm
Nice.
just gonna give Night of the Living Dead a very shocking 7 out of 10.
Nice.
It's incredibly appreciable. I don't think that I seriously think that it's an essential film. If you love horror or just love film in general, it's incredibly effective on both sides.
Mhm.
For cinema at least. Dated but still fun. I can see myself watching it maybe a few more times in my life, honestly. It's a fun movie to me.
All right, so Dawn of the Dead.
All right, let's move on to the big one.
Dawn made a whole
Okay.
decade after the original, which
yeah,
is pretty
he made,
shocking.
he made The Crazies and he made Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Not
Fuck.
Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. He just made a movie called Season of the Witch.
So this
I saw The
one-
Crazies very recently. It's not very good.
boring.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking boring. Anyway, Dawn of the Dead. Let's start with Grub. What did you think of Dawn of the Dead?
I don't know, it has a lot of great ideas. There's some fun scenes, but I know the cheesiness is self-aware, but personally, it was just really hard to get into at certain moments.
All right,
yeah, whatever.
Jacob.
All right. I thought that the characters are very great. Probably my favorites out of the trilogy, to be honest.
Mhm.
Oh, my bad. I watched the fan edit that Xander sent, and yeah, love the characters. It's still pretty cheesy. It honestly, like, I'm just not a huge fan of films that are that cheesy, but I know it's self-aware. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. It's a fun film.
All right, Twinkle.
I really love the characters. The cheesiness is awesome. I don't care what Jacob and Grub say. I also watched the fan edit and I thought it was great. I think we can all agree that the first like 20 minutes are kind of ass, but I love the
Yes.
rest
Yep.
of it.
I disagree.
Okay. Hold on. Let's just keep going with the individual thoughts, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay,
Nikki,
but the rest.
my dear. Shut the fuck up, Jacob. Nikki, my dear, what did you think?
I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's probably one of my favorite zombie movies because I don't know. I really liked it out of like the entire like trilogy. I think this is my favorite movie. Like the characters were just like more likable. Like you actually gave a shit about them and were concerned about their health and like safety in general too. Like the first 15, 20 minutes or so, I was kind of just like I don't know how I feel about this, but then like once I got into the movie, I really enjoyed it. Like I don't know, like I just the characters were more likable. This like whole movie and stuff. It was just really good.
Mm-hmm. All right, Seth.
Dawn of the Dead is fucking pinnacle of zombie movies. It's the best one that has ever been made because
Facts.
it's like the fucking it's the perfect blend between horror, action, and fucking like satire
Facts.
and social commentary. Everything put together. It's so cohesive, yet at the same time it's so like incredibly fun. It's pioneered so much that it inspired
Mhm.
people,
Facts.
and like there's like the video games, the COD video games with the four main characters. That is clearly what clearly took inspiration from that movie. Not Night,
Yeah.
not Dead. It was clearly Dawn, because it just shows inspiration from them, and I can't get enough of it. It's awesome.
Alrighty then. Aaron, what did you think of Dawn of the Dead?
Well, I think Seth already said everything that needed to be said. He pretty much hit the nail on the head. But yeah, it's the quintessential zombie movie. Like, it's incredibly charming. It's incredibly creative. It's like everything that this strives towards. It's perfect. I love the first 20 minutes because, well, I'll get to it later. But it doesn't waste time at all. It's just everything serves its purpose. It's fun. It's endlessly rewatchable, at least for me. And it's just incredibly unique. It's pioneering, as Seth said. It's just so great. It's a fun zombie movie. The best one for me.
I personally believe that Dawn of the Dead is kind of just if Night was the grandfather, Dawn is the father of the zombie movie. I think that it is incredibly fun. It's got great action. I think the characters are really well developed in terms of not individually. I think that I think that we don't really know a ton about the characters individually, but we do get a ton of development between them. The chemistry between them, I think, is what matters. I would prefer a zombie movie that has better chemistry between characters than developed characters that we know everything about. I prefer to have characters that are in a group that work well off each other than characters that work better individually, because that's clearly they're clearly the heart of the movie. You have to have a good group before you can have good characters individually, I believe. I think that it's clear that George just has had a great idea. He wanted to make a movie where it's all just all about isolation and all about, he also made something about consumerism, toxic masculinity, internal conflict, and I think it's just a fucking blast. And the filming behind this film, honestly, is somewhat more interesting than the movie itself. It's kind of one of those movies to me too.
Yeah.
Great music, love it. Great, incredible effects, but we'll get into that. And yeah, I just think that like I said, if Knight was the grandfather, I think Dawn is the father. All right,
The daddy.
Vinny, the daddy,
The daddy.
Vinny.
The daddy, yes. I'm going to fly in the face of all that is traditional and say Dawn of the Dead is what I would consider a beautiful mess. I think it's
Yeah.
fairly overstuffed. I think it has a lot that it has a very equal amount of stuff that I like and an equal amount of stuff that I dislike. I think
Agree.
it's got a brilliant soundtrack that doesn't fit any of the scenes it's in. I think it I think it's got really fun gore that seems very tame in comparison to the budget. I think it has lots of good individual character moments that, when put together, seem a little. I want to say maybe uneven, I guess, but I
Yeah.
just feel. I know everybody has been like going all over about how much they love the characters, but I only really gave a fuck about Fran basically, and I guess that's just. I
I
don't know.
get that.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
I'm almost done. I just think it's just I watched the 2.5 hour cut, and I think maybe if I had watched maybe a fan edit or maybe the theatrical or the con cut, it would work a little better. But as the 2.5 hour cut that I saw was very detrimental to the film's pacing, and I don't know whatever version on the sound, whatever version I watched on YouTube, the sound design was absolute dog shit, and I think it was very detrimental to how some of the scenes were paced out. And also, the other thing I want
noticed that.
from everybody said that the first 15 minutes were the worst part of the movie. I want to be a little bit contrarian to that and say I think the first 5 or so minutes are really great. I love the police,
Yes.
the new procedural sequence. But once it delves,
Oh yeah.
cops going in, it feels very much like I'm watching I don't know, an episode of Star Trek Picard where it's just beating me over the head with the social commentary in that scene. It's here's the racist cop killing the black people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's just very
It is.
and it just sort of exists so that the two main characters can meet each other. It feels very contrived and very strange to me. And I guess maybe in terms of the world building, it's not particularly bad, but I just feel like it doesn't exist in the same universe as the first film, kind of.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
I do want to bring something up that you brought up, Vinny, about the contrast to the budget with the effects. I think Dawn had a much smaller budget than Day, and Day had a cut budget. Day originally was supposed to have $7 million something dollars, I think, but it got cut down to 2.5 or something. So Dawn had way less. So I think that in terms of the effects and budget, I think that they fit pretty well. And plus, the whole ending with the bikers, I think that when the bikers start getting torn apart and it's Savini just going all the fuck out with his effects, I think that works incredibly well. I think that it works incredibly well for the budget. And I do want to say that Dawn of the Dead, whatever you think of it, whatever you see, whatever you believe, it's a fucking low budget indie film. There's no Hollywood here. He had his own movie and he made it his own, because he literally the mall was a mall that his buddy in college managed. So at night he would come in and film his scenes for the movie, and zombie extras were paid I think they were paid a single fucking dollar, because they legitimately couldn't, but they genuinely cared about the movie and they showed up. They only got paid a single dollar because the budget was just so fucking low. So I think that you gotta pay the people who show up. But I guess the extras, they just didn't care about how much they were being paid. They were like, dude, I'm playing a zombie in a Romero film. I mean, I don't really care. Who cares? Give me my dollar. I'll do whatever the fuck you want. And I think that he really went all out with with the personality in my eyes.
It's quite impressive how much
There's
they
a ton of
accomplished.
unforgettable stuff in Dawn. Yeah.
It's incredibly creative and all these different ways they tackled like small gags. Like it encompasses the whole spirit of the movie. When like some guy just randomly put his arm in the blood pressure machine, and like they asked Romero in an interview, like, "Why'd you do that? Why is that in the movie?" And his whole response was like, "Oh, because we could." So
Yeah.
that's
It's the
that's
same
the
thing
whole
with the
movie.
pie fight. It's
Yeah,
the
the
same
pie
thing with the pie
scene
fight.
was great.
Except,
it's goofy as shit.
okay,
but-
it's goofy, but to a fault. Honestly, I think that part was like a little bit too much for me at points. But I
didn't
think,
find it too
that
much.
I think that the bikers being as crazy as they are, I see why it's like I'll always laugh at that scene. I'll always laugh at that scene. Honestly, it's funny. Like it's
whole-
funny.
It is. Yeah.
The whole sequence with the bikers was my favorite part of the film. It's just
Yeah.
it's
Tom
wild.
Savini
It's
with the fucking
unhinged.
pocket knife mustache.
Definitely.
Pocket knife combing his mustache.
I wish more of the movie was like that scene. I think my main issue was just I felt there was tonal dissonance with it. I think it
Definitely.
tries to balance things a little too far. It's kind of like a Sam Raimi issue, thing where it's like the movie has like an incredible like horrific scene followed by like raindrops keep falling on my head or some shit like with Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I could see that, especially in like in the
Yeah.
intro, because
Yeah.
they put you in the
Yeah.
newsroom and everything is chaotic and everything is like super serious. Like, oh, we got to get out of here, which I really like. Like he just puts you in the chaos and like he develops the characters from there. He doesn't like have this whole backstory with them and flashbacks or whatever. He just puts you in the chaos. He allows you to experience everything that Fran is experiencing. I liked it a lot, even though it is it could use some polishing, which depending on the cut you watch, it's also like I think Romero has expressed the theatrical is the most polished one. So
Mm.
Need to watch
Yeah.
that's the one I've never seen. I've seen the con cut and I've seen the director's cut now.
yeah, that one is the one with the most audio polishing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
What the
One
director's
Maybe
cut
I
or
should
the
watch
con
that
cut?
one.
Or can cut.
the original,
Oh, the
theatrical.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the director's cut, even though he made it, it's not really endorsed by Romero. He prefers the theatrical cut. So I don't think the director's cut had a fair shot to begin with, because even Romero's like, no, just watch the theatrical cut.
Yeah,
I watched the director's cut. I didn't find much difference.
it's mostly just the same scenes but longer. That's pretty much it.
I disagree with that, because I think there's more development in the director's cut. I believe that the scene before the bikers being cut out of the theatrical cut, I understand why it was cut, but it did more to add. I'm talking about the proposal scene. It added more investment for me, because it's clear that like Steven cares about Fran, obviously, and like wants to tie the knot in this piece of shit world, and
Well, that was
she
the
says no.
theatrical.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't remember that. I watched the theatrical. I don't
most of
remember
the
that
scenes are
scene.
just
Yeah, I was just saying
elongated.
I was in it.
Yeah, that was
They are.
theatrical.
The fuck?
That's what I'm talking about. It's like the extended
What?
is
Did I
it's a
fall
good.
asleep for like 5 minutes?
It is in the original for sure.
Damn, okay, so I watched the fan edit originally for my first watch, that 2.5 hour cut, loved it. Then
Yeah.
I watched the theatrical cut, and then I watched the director's cut. And when I watched the theatrical cut, I genuinely did not remember seeing the fucking proposal scene. What the hell? What
Yeah,
happened?
I don't know. Here's the thing: like, I just wish that Romero would like revisit this and like just like Coppola did with Apocalypse Now and like make the definitive final cut version of
Yeah,
this.
but I mean, he's sadly passed away, and that's a
Yeah.
whole nother
wish, like, his estate
story
would
with like the
do it.
distribution and the distribution.
Yeah, the whole
and
distribution
rights.
shit is so
Oh
like
god, it's so
stupid.
fucked.
Maybe it is another
Fuck
like Apocalypse Now, because like I've seen all three versions of Apocalypse Now, and the theatrical cut is by far the best version.
for sure.
Like, maybe
yeah,
need
I
The
agree.
theatrical cut of the
I
Dead.
kind of prefer the final cut, but I see where you're coming
I've
from.
only seen
That
the final
scene is just I hate that whole plantation scene so much.
honestly, I kind of get why it's there, because, and I'm also glad that they do a little funeral for like, oh wait, no shit, fuck, I can't. This isn't Apocalypse Now, spoilers, motherfucker.
Apocalypse Now, wreck.
No, not yet, not yet. It ain't gonna be me at least.
brought us
My,
back to Dawn.
my next rec is already figured out. Anyway, I think that you know it's all just about like what are you after? Like are you after like a more
Yeah.
character defined film or a more straightforward zombie action film? Because if you get that answer, then I know what cut to recommend. Like theatrical for more straightforward action, or the zombie Argento cut for more straightforward action, or if you want like a more more character rich film, then yeah, I would pick the director's cut because that's just what
Yeah.
it's for.
From what I've heard, the Argento cut gets rid of most of like the goofy aspects of it, and is more straightforward and I guess darker.
Yeah, but
But
that's
yeah.
completely contradictory because
Yeah,
it said
that's-
gets rid of the goofy music but adds more goblin music. Sorry, gets rid of the more goofy scenes but adds more goblin music. Goblin is fucking goofy. It's great, but it's goofy.
Didn't
Well, I know.
Argento on
The
the music
one
too.
soundtrack is how often people have like sampled the score from this movie and put it in other stuff. Like they literally like the opening
yeah.
like credit
Mhm.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail is like one of the Goblin themes from this movie, and the same with like the opening track to Gorilla's Demon Days. That's the same shit.
All right, well, I mean,
What did everybody think of the actors?
Great.
it
Ken
was
Foree
sometime.
will go.
The
Felt
only
like
ones
every-
the only ones I didn't like were the bikers, even though they were barely like some of the bikers just
Yeah.
didn't look like they were very qualified to be acting.
Yeah.
But, like, the main characters were fucking great. For the most, I can't really think of a bad one.
You know, I think there are a couple moments where maybe Roger is a little like just over the top. I think when he's going crazy with the trucks, I think that that part, like there were parts where he's like, okay, you're kind of hamming it up, but I think that it kind of fits with his character in that scene because he's clearly like incredibly like arrogant and like you know he's like, oh man, this is so easy. We got this by the ass. Like he's clearly like power tripping. So I think that like his overacting in that scene actually kind of fits, even though like when he said we got this by the ass, I was like, okay, that's a little hammy, but whatever. I mean, the movie's hammy. Who fucking cares?
I think it's because like he was in the mall for so long that like it became so easy just to kill the zombies that when he got out there, he's like, oh, this is a piece of cake. Like I can easily do this. Like even though they were outnumbered. Like, I think it just got to his head where he was like, oh, we'll be fine. We got this.
I also liked how like they showed them reflecting. Once they did get rid of most of the zombies, they just reflected in their own rooms and just like, you know, just wandered around and did nothing.
Yeah,
I
think that's
really enjoyed
very
that scene.
effective.
Some of them also kind of
Because-
they had
Oh,
like
sorry.
zombie prosthetics on them while they were doing that whole like scene. Like I was watching it and like Fran's husband, like it looked like he had like zombie makeup on him while he was just chilling and like trying on clothes and stuff. And I don't know if that was
Mhm.
intentional or not, but that was kind of
With this movie, I believe that it maybe was a little intentional because consumerism is a high priority in the commentary, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that I think it's very easy and not uncommon to say, man, people are like zombies, man, out here with fucking materialistic goods and shit. I think that maybe Romero did that on purpose with the whole like if they look like a zombie in that montage, then maybe it was a little intentional. But I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't because it's clear this movie has some flaws like for
sure.
polish.
Since there's like also like mannequins as zombies, so it makes
Yeah.
perfect
Yeah.
sense. There's a lot of like one-liners I like too about this movie, like when Ken Foree's like, when there's no room in hell, the dead will. Yeah, it's like so many little just camp elements that I really enjoyed about this.
Whatever you think of Dawn of the Dead in any way, whatever, like even if you fucking hate it, like it's unforgettable. Like
It
you're
is.
gonna remember a lot of shit about it for a while. You're gonna remember the goblin music. You're gonna remember Ken Foree's infamous one-liner. You're gonna remember the effects. You're gonna remember the mall environment. You're gonna remember the biker scene. Like the thing about Dawn of the Dead, and I think this goes for all the Dead movies in their own way. They're all unforgettable.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I agree.
And I
Yeah.
think that really makes them, and that obviously just makes them stand out to me more because there are so many fucking zombie movies that technically are more polished and more well made, but I don't fucking remember because they just don't have so many like amazing or just entertaining scenes or characters. Dawn just
Yep.
did it right in my eyes.
World
I
War
will
Z.
say-
My fucking point.
I will say though that I do agree with what I just want to say one thing that I agree with that Vinny said earlier about like I guess kind of the tonal shifts. That was the one thing that I guess took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah,
Is just
completely
I guess
agree
how
with
the
that.
tone changed quite a bit and yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I
The dog did
mean,
it perfectly, that didn't.
Day has a very similar tonal shift, so
Yeah, I
don't see
agree.
that complaint being entirely. I mean, I see that complaint being valid, obviously. I just don't see that complaint
I think it's
applying
valid
to
for
Dawn,
both
but
films to
not
be
Day.
honest.
I have
No,
this.
yeah, it applies to Day too. I'm not saying it doesn't. It applies to both in my opinion.
I have.
No, it definitely does. Grub, like, come on,
I don't know
can't,
if I agree.
you can't be that naive, dude. Like, it's so obvious.
Hold up. If we're gonna talk about Day, can we give our
Well-
scores?
Well, I
Well,
think I got a
anybody
little more
wants-
to say about Dawn first.
Well, I got a question real quick. Why did they put the zombies in the freezer? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, or at least
True.
take the food
Little
out
nitpick.
first. I
Yeah, because
also
there's all
probably
that
would have.
food in there.
Exactly. Take the damn food out. Don't
Yeah.
put zombies in there.
True.
They
Kind of
could have put
nasty.
them in another empty store that they never go into.
Or just drop the zombies off
Exactly.
the roof.
Yeah, you can just drop them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Romero
But okay,
sucks.
another thing that I would also complain about is they should have boarded up the door behind the fake wall
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh
because
yeah.
they never used it. Obviously,
Yep.
Yeah.
why didn't they fucking board it up? Because like, oh god.
Yeah. I agree.
Another thing I want to mention that is pretty unforgettable is the zombies. You remember the
Yeah.
rifle zombie. You remember the Hare Krishna zombie. You remember the fat zombie. You remember the zombie with the messed up face that's used in the promotional material. You remember the children, the kid zombies that Ken Foray ruthlessly guns down. Like you remember the zombies.
Steven was the best zombie.
I guess,
zombie.
yeah.
Although, yeah, Steven has got to be
He
probably the best
gives
zombie.
the best
Oh, yeah.
performance of zombie
It's so
ever.
good. It's so good. And honestly, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I think his zombie acting is a little more entertaining than Bub. Honestly,
It is.
It
Every
is.
single
It
one.
is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is.
Fuck Bob.
because
Fucking Bob.
because he has like the twisted leg. He's
Yeah.
got the
Yeah, his
gun
whole foot
hanging
thing.
by the
Yeah.
finger. His head is like slightly twisted, and he's got his eyes rolling back into his head. Like his zombie character is only in the film for like, I don't know, 30, 45 seconds, and then he gets fucking blasted again for.
Mhm.
But it's so unforgettable because the actor clearly I think George A. Romero basically said like just didn't give him any pointers, so he literally like came up with his own thoughts of like how zombie him would act. And I think that it was fucking genius. Like it was perfect.
And everybody copied him since.
Yep.
He based that whole scene like we're in the elevator when it opens. It's just like so impactful. And I'm like, damn.
Aw.
This is
Because you
great.
know he's gonna turn,
For
but
a
when you
moment-
see it, it's still shocking.
Yeah, it's
You
it's
think for a
shocking.
moment, like even though you know he's fucking dead because he got bit in the neck, you think that like, oh man, maybe he survived, and then he's dead. And you're like, well, shit. I mean,
Yeah, his performance definitely influenced that whole like that great scene in Shaun of the Dead where they all like get like the acting course and pretend
Mhm.
like a huge crowd.
that's such a good fucking movie. One more thing another thing I have to mention is that I 100% agree with the music being goofy. I disagree with it being overbearing at points. I think that in the beginning, I think the music is sparingly used. Because in the beginning, in the newsroom scene, it's just that droning like sound, and I think
Yep.
that's used incredibly well to sow tension, because it's also kind of subtly introduced once the chaos starts. I mean, sorry, subtly like in the background once the chaos starts, because you hear it first and then it like slowly fades into the background, but it never goes away, and I think that's incredibly effective. I do think that like that part where they're wheeling Roger around in the fucking wheelbarrow, like the whole like da 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 da, like that was kind of cheesy and overbearing, but I mean, it added a lot of fun goofiness to the scene, and I remember the track, which is more than I can say for most zombie movie music. So I mean, I think the music is definitely goofy, sometimes overbearing, but I will take goofy and overbearing over, but memorable over well used and well composed over. And forgettable any day. I will take that. I will take Goblin over any forgettable piece of shit zombie music any day.
Yeah.
World War Z. Sorry, I had something in my throat.
World War Z. World War Z is just like generic, like da 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 da, like that bullshit.
And then of course, blah.
Yeah, of course that.
You stick your people in the fucking studio and add temp music and just be like, make it sound like this. Make it sound like shit.
So fucking lazy. I hate it when people are like, make it sound like this. Create your own fucking thing for fucking once. Jesus.
What's strange about this
is by far the best aspect of the film, in my opinion.
What is?
The score. I love the music.
The effects. I'm the effects man.
Well, which score? The Goblin one or the music library one?
No, yeah.
The effects are
'Cause
cool.
I like both of them.
I mean,
yeah, it's not Savini's best work, but it's like it's still fun. It's still nice to watch.
But it's clear that he was finally like evolving into his.
Yeah.
His
I like the
infamous,
vibrant red, blood red colors. I don't know why. It's just those 70 feel.
It looks like
That-
neon
love that
ketchup
too, yeah.
sometimes, but it works.
It does.
for me.
Oh, also the head explosion towards the beginning. It's fantastic.
Oh, it
yeah.
is.
Even though like the plaster is very obvious in the beginning.
Yeah.
Apparently they filled it up with like random pieces of fruit and like and condoms, and then Savini took a fucking literal shotgun and just blew it up.
Yeah.
Nice.
I heard with, like the headshots, you like take a quarter and like put makeup over it, and then you like pull it off to.
Yeah, with like a fishing line. And then you
That's-
add like some sort of gib or like some sort of head explosion in the background. You do that with like,
Yeah.
I mean, the usual way that low budget people do it is condoms, because that they're fucking easy.
What's strange about this movie is that in foreign countries, I forget which specific one, but it was
Italy,
released. It
probably.
was released. Yeah, it was released as Zombie. With that
Yeah.
title, and it spawned
And
like
then it got
two unofficial sequels. Yeah, which is like incredibly weird. It's like
I really want to see that Argento cut and then watch the sequels, because I'm so curious. Like,
yeah,
how did they create like their own separate thing out of this? I
Yeah.
just kind of love how horror is that way. How some movies just happen that way. How sometimes they're released internationally, and then people are just like, you know what? We'll make our own sequel with blackjack and hookers, and then they make their own fucking sequel that's like separate from the actual sequel that they got. And I think that's just very interesting. Just funny how cinema works like that.
Alrighty. Anybody got anything else?
Nobody
to
laughed at my
add?
Futurama reference. Fuck all of you. Do we have anything else to say about Dawn of the Dead?
I noticed that in the scene where they got the trucks, I noticed the logo kind of looked like the.
Run. Sorry. I apologize.
I'm just looking at my notes, and I was just like, I noticed the one like the truck slogan that the two trucks that they steal kind of look like the Breaking Bad logo. It looks like the.
Really?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Notice that.
Oh yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a soda, Jacob. Next time we meet.
Why?
Because I fucking jinxed you, buddy.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's
And-
do scores.
Yes, scores.
Mr. Big
Alright,
Mac.
Oops.
Yeah, Mr. Big Mac. Grub, what'd you think of Dawn of the Dead?
Closing thoughts,
rating?
scores. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
6
final
out of
thoughts.
10. I agree with like pretty much everything Vinny said. I think
Alright.
it's just harder to get into the tone a lot of times.
Waste.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6 out of 10.
Alrighty then. Jacob.
Hello. Yeah, I'd like to be addressed by Yakov from now on.
Jakob?
Russian,
Alright,
please.
Jakob.
Yep.
Jacob.
Okay.
Got
Yep.
it.
Yeah, I mean, zombie films just really like aren't my thing, to be honest. But I still
Yeah,
found
I
a
feel
lot to
that.
enjoy, and yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Cool.
What? They gave it a 7.
Wait, didn't
Yeah.
you give it a 7? Or are
Yeah,
you
but
changing the
I'm
rating?
I'm thinking it's a 6, to be honest.
Damn, that's
I won.
unfortunate. That's false and unfortunate.
Bro.
Finkel, what'd
Well.
you think of it?
10. Fuck you.
Mr. 10 coming in with a 10.
Yeah. Nikki, my dear, what did you think of Dawn of the Dead?
All right. Originally when I first watched the movie, I gave it an 8, but after rewatching it, it's easily a 9.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Chad.
Nice.
Awesome. Told you she was the best member. I'm not biased at all. Seth, what'd you think of it?
It's the pinnacle of zombie movies. It's a 9. It's the strongest 9 I've given in a while.
Alrighty
Okay.
then. Hey, Aaron, expert of all things tender. What would you give Dawn of the Dead?
It is a classic zombie movie. It's the best. 8 out of 10.
Alrighty.
Wow. Zombie movie sounds fucking sick.
Vinny, what'd you think?
All right. There's a great 90-minute to 2-hour long movie within there. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. I believe that it is a classic, quintessential, important, fucking essential zombie movie. If you love zombie movies, if you love film, if you love anything that has to do with movies, then you have to give Dawn of the Dead a watch at some point, because it is incredibly, its effect on cinema and zombie movies in general is incredibly apparent. It has great characters in my eyes. I love the acting, even when it was corny. I loved the music when it was corny. I loved it when it was corny, I think is the best way I can describe Dawn of the Dead. Even when it stooped into that area where it was like, okay, this is clearly very 70s, I just loved it. And even then, I feel like I can just revisit it every once in a while and just be like, this is just a fun fucking movie. Like, if you don't find this fun, then like come on, what do you find fun? It's just an entertaining piece of zombie film, and I appreciate it and love it, which cannot be said for our next movie. Anyway, Dawn of the Dead. I'm giving it a solid to strong 8. I think it's great. Now to talk about the other one.
Fuck off.
All right.
Day of the Dead.
All right. Okay,
When
hold
did this
on.
come out?
I kind of realized that, like, with our rules, with our previous videos, it's the person who recommended it who gives their thoughts first, and I've been going in this random order. So I'm just gonna reorient myself. Nikki, what did you think of Day of the Dead?
Okay. I really did not like this movie at all. I already went in knowing that not a lot of people enjoyed the movie, but I was going to give it high hopes, and I just really did not like it. The only like 2 things I could really appreciate from this movie were like the gore and probably Bub. I think Bub was like the only character in this movie
let's
that I
go.
actually cared about. Like, I don't know. It's weird how like I don't even care about like the human characters, but I care about the one zombie character. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I will have to give them credit. The gore in this movie was amazing. Like they really did a good job on it, and I could see the improvements from like the first 2 movies. But I don't know. I couldn't find myself to like this movie at all.
Alrighty
Okay.
then. That's fair. Grub, what did you think of it?
Okay. Well, just right away, it was my favorite out of the trilogy. It's the one.
Ace.
I got the most entertainment out of it.
Based.
Okay.
I get a lot of y'all complaints, and it is flawed, but I didn't try to take it too seriously and just had a blast with how wild it is.
Alright.
Just a lot of fun.
I'll get to that later because I got something to ask. Jacob, what did
Yes,
you think
thank
of Day
you.
of the Dead?
I mean, it's definitely, flawed, but I had fun. I turned my brain off, and I had quite a bit of fun. The gore is
Exactly.
amazing. And, yeah, just have fun challenge. And that's really all I got to say about
Fuck
it.
off. Don't give me that shit. right. Finkel Doinkle, what did you think of it? He's
I already
muted.
know where this is going.
Hey, wait. Before
Here
I
we
say
go.
my hold up. Before I say my thoughts, I wanted to ask Seth because I forgot to earlier. You said
Okay.
that Dawn of the Dead was the strongest 9 you've given in a while. So why is it at the bottom of your favorites? The fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Anyways,
Jesus.
Oh God, Finkel, just
Anyway.
give your thoughts on Day.
Okay, but Day of the Dead, shit movie. It has the worst script. I don't care.
It is pretty bad.
That was
Alright.
The acting is terrible. Terrible movie. I don't know what to say about it because I hated it, and I don't. That's kind of all I have to say. It's just ass.
All right then. Tell us how you really feel. No, just kidding. Seth, my friend, what did you, my British friend, what did you think?
All right, strap yourself in. I'm not making this brief. So you've got like,
Okie dokie.
I definitely don't dislike it as much as everyone here.
Same.
It pisses me off more than anything. But the characters,
I don't dislike
Without-
it, but it pisses
like-
me off.
and despite the characters being great actors, in my opinion,
Yeah.
they are written like fucking dirt. They are
Shit.
absolutely terribly written. You've got like you've got like the typical asshole who thinks his dick's bigger than everyone in the fucking wherever they are in the mine or whatever. And then you've got the typical savior like woman as the lead role who gets degraded by men, and then you've got this you've got the like I don't know, the drunk guy, the mad scientist, and then it all just felt really cliched.
Oh, don't forget the racist
Definitely.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then the racist guy. Yeah.
And then, yeah, the racist dude too. And then there's also, I'm gonna come out with an unpopular opinion. I hate Bub. I think he's a terrible thing. But I think he was terrible. I think, but I'm gonna get into why later because it's just something that completely takes me out. It kind of makes me like not care about the other two movies because it's kind of just his character alone. While it's innovative, the idea of it just feels fucking redundant in the universe of the thing. I mean, I love the gore, obviously, and I think the ending scene's awful, but I think how they show how it was all so secure, and then by the end everything's like gone to shit, where it's like really claustrophobic. I thought that was really good.
I agree with that.
But
Ending is
while there's fun to be had, it is like painfully written. But
Yeah.
that's all I'll say.
The writing
all I'll
is
say.
painful.
All right. Ron.
this is
what
very
did you think?
exciting.
I know.
I love everybody's thoughts on it so far. I'm like, damn, what do I
Yeah.
say? So, all right, so let's just go through it. The first watch, I was like, you know what? I just wanted like some fun zombie action. That's all I wanted. But instead, I got like people talking in a room who I don't give a single shit about, and it's like, all right, can this get moving? And the second watch, I was like, I don't care at all. I don't care. So mostly, this movie is terribly balanced with what it wants to go for and its themes. Like, yeah, I get it. Humans are assholes, but it doesn't mean you have to write them in a way where it's like absolute dog water. You can write assholes to be, I guess, nuanced and like they're all just very one dimensional, and it's
You
very.
can write assholes to be likable. 3 billboards, but you know.
They don't even have to be
that.
likable. They just have to be like, I have to understand them, and it made me feel like Romero just wrote them because it was just popular to do it at the time. Like, it's popular to like shit on
Racist guy.
the woman.
Call the
Exactly.
Latino
It's all
dude
just
a racial
stereotypes.
slur.
And like,
Yeah.
Bub, I liked him for the most part. At least in the first watch, I liked the performance. I think it's one of the better zombie performances in any zombie movie. Not as great as the one in Dawn, but it also felt like a gimmick to the whole movie. Like, yeah, Romero doesn't give a shit about the humans anymore. He just gives a shit about the zombies or whatever.
All about the
And
zombies, yeah.
even in the end, it's like when they do celebrate and have that happy ending, it's like it felt so forced and nothing was redeemed. It just
Didn't
felt
feel
like
earned.
it just, I don't know. I just checked out by the second watch. You know, I was just like, who cares?
All right, well,
Yeah.
yeah. Day of the Dead. Okay, so personally, Day of the Dead pisses me off in not at the movie that it is, but the movie that it could have been. And I mentioned back in Dawn, back when we talked about Dawn, that Day had a big budget of around 7 million at the time, at least for around around 7 million, because a producer finally bit and let Romero make his. Well, actually, no. What was I can't remember the name of the production company, but he was gonna make 3 movies. He made Night Riders or whatever that thing is, about a bunch of jousting knights on motorcycles, and then he made a movie called Creep Show. And so I guess the producers wanted him to make, and neither of those movies were very successful. So now the producers wanted him to make another Dead movie, and he was given a big budget, and from the sounds of it, this movie could have really been something pretty awesome, because there was a lot more of above ground action. There was a lot more character. I guess there was a lot more sinking into the characters' backgrounds. There was more sinking into like what got them there, and why the soldiers, and like why the soldiers are, more details into why the soldiers are so tired of their shit. Apparently, Tom Savini calls it Raiders of the Lost Ark with zombies. So I mean, that's what it was. That apparently, I guess Tom Savini in an interview said that it was supposed to be Raiders of the Lost Ark with zombies. And there was a lot of apparently there were a lot of above ground action scenes and a lot of stuff with boats. Apparently, I guess that and I guess because of Romero wanting to release the film unrated with all the gore in its glory, the producers eventually were just like, all right, fine, you can release it unrated, but fuck your budget, we're cutting it. And yeah. So I guess that's how Day came to be. He wanted to make a bigger movie than anything he's ever done, and all because he wanted to make it in its full unrated, unintruded format. The producers basically said, "Fuck your creative vision. You don't deserve a budget. Here's $2 million instead of $7 million to make your big movie." So he had to tone down the script. He had to tone down the action. He had to tone down everything, and it really, really shows, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Great gore,
Alright.
though.
Yeah, great gore for sure. Vinny, what do you think of Day of the Dead?
Okay.
Also, Vinny, don't look at the chat. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
And then go.
I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah, I like this movie. It's very flawed. It's got a lot of problems, but I kind of just enjoy a lot of the sequences, and I think it's very. I don't want to particularly call it self-aware because I don't think it's that, but it's very much. It's very streamlined and very trying to accomplish. I think it succeeds at mostly what it tries to accomplish by portraying all of these asshole characters in this situation and sort of just making it like a very. I think, especially people were talking about the ending. I think the ending is great because it's very satisfying to watch all the asshole characters get ripped to shreds.
Definitely.
I think we just mean just the final 30 seconds, how it just kind of match cuts, not the actual tearing apart of the assholes, which is great. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to.
I actually kind of like the final shot because it serves as a good closing thematic image with the original opening shot where it's both a calendar. I just thought that
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's
And
just
come
the
full
whole
circle.
dream thing.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of effects, is probably Tom Savini's masterpiece. I have not seen Friday the 13th Part 6. I've heard that movie has some incredible gore that he did. But,
I would say that it is his masterpiece. I've seen Part 6. It's got great gore, but I think this one kind of tops it.
Yeah, I just think it's just I'm a sucker for movies where it's characters in isolation just trying to tear each other to shreds. It's like a much deeper version of The Thing. Like I just really appreciate. I just like those kinds of horror stories, and I think it's got a lot of very fun quotes. I'm running this monkey farm Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time. That's it's so funny. But yeah, I think it's fun. I don't think it's particularly very good, but I like it a lot.
All right, that's fair.
It's the worst movie.
Same.
I think what works best for me, aside from like the obvious gore and all that shit, I think that the overacting honestly is entertaining, but
It
only
is.
only from the one guy. Honestly,
Only from Joseph
Pilato. It's only from
Yeah,
Joseph Pilato. Everyone else's overacting feels incredibly stupid to me. I think he kind of
It
has
does, though.
I think his is a bit more. I think his is a bit more not just entertaining, but also like I guess a bit more understandable because I mean he's just worried about his men, so he kind of like he's like just yelling a ton. Like he's like I get his character is a total fucking stereotype, but it's entertaining to watch him be like, steal, shoot that woman, and then he's like,
Yo,
"You're
Bob's
dead."
here.
And then he straight up pulls a fucking gun on him, and he's like, "I didn't fucking like." You could tell in his face, he's like, "I didn't fucking stutter. Shoot the bitch."
Yeah.
like that's kind of
Yeah,
funny
but
to me. Like
That's one of the
that's
scenes
funny.
I hated very much because they kind of just with the use of music was fucking terrible in that
That
scene.
is true.
It was so bad. It was like it's just like he pulls out the gun. It was like boom. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to kill something now. Oh, but I just didn't. I thought the main character was fucking terrible. So it's like, oh, I don't know.
I want to hear.
He's the real baddie.
I want to hear Bob's
Soundtrack to be a
thoughts
lot better
on the
than it
film.
was because during that whole opening credit sequence, the soundtrack was popping the fuck off, and the rest of the movie did not.
Yeah, but I thought the soundtrack was shit. Honestly,
Yeah.
it was nowhere near the quality of Dawn.
Like I get they were trying to like fit with the environment, the whole like you know Everglades, fucking Florida kind of thing. I know they were trying to go all tropical with it, but like it only fit in the very beginning, and even then it was kind of weird.
It just felt
It
incredibly dated. It's just so very.
There
80s,
was like
and
there
it's
were like
just
some
ugly.
yeah, there were like some major scenes like that really happened that are like incredibly like dark and violent, and then all of a sudden all you hear is in the background. And I'm like, shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Stop. And it's like I wanted to like tear my ears off because it's
Okay, it's not
so
that bad.
fucking annoying, man.
I didn't think it was that annoying, but
Bob, what did you think of Day?
Bob, I want to hear.
I mean, I liked it, but I don't have much to say to defend it. It's mostly like based on my enjoyment. Like why I like it
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
much.
Yeah, I feel that. There are a lot of movies like that I like oh my god, I'm gonna get a bunch of fucking people laughing because of this, but you know, Belly is a great example
Just
for
all
me.
that kind
Like,
of-
Let's go. Yeah.
I just enjoy that fucking movie so fucking much, even though
Belly.
the criticisms are valid. Day just kind of took it a few
Sad.
steps too far for me.
Chat.
Yeah, I thought the soundtrack in that movie was great in Day of the Dead.
I didn't have
Uh,
you guys all had like issues with the soundtrack. I enjoyed it.
I
Like Bob,
didn't
I don't know.
hate it.
Oh man, it just didn't sound
It's not
appealing to
nearly
me.
as strong as
It just didn't fit. Like it was so
I
totally
guess.
inconsistent with what was on screen. Like I think specifically the scene where I don't know if this was it specifically because I genuinely it's so hard to differentiate different scenes from each other. But like there was like one scene I think it was after Miguel's arm got chopped off. Like they're at the standoff in the background. All I hear is and I'm like, oh my god, someone's fucking arm just got chopped off. This does not work. It
It
just doesn't
does
work.
work though.
How? I don't see how it works. It genuinely just it just feels so out of place and just out. It just doesn't work for me. I just don't see I don't see how like the tropical uh like the whole tropical vibe of the music in that scene. Like if you're gonna have music in that scene, fine, but don't make it like all tropical and bouncy. It just doesn't make sense to me, especially after a
Florida.
scene where multiple characters die and then another character gets his fucking arm chopped off and everyone's like about to fucking kill each other, and in the background it's just a bunch of bouncy tropical music, and I'm just like it's just so tonally inconsistent. It doesn't fit for me.
I
don't
know,
know.
but I could say similar things about like Dawn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, totally inconsistent scenes in Dawn. They're in Day too,
Sure,
but
Yeah, I
what
agree.
redeemed it in Dawn for me was the characters, and here, I understand
I
like
guess,
that's the
but
point, but it's like you don't have to write them this way. You don't have to make them
Yeah.
so incredibly transparent and like obvious to what they're trying to do. Like Romero is obviously saying like humanity has lost all hope, so this is how they would naturally react. But it's like you have some dog shit one-liners, and it's very distracting from the overall like tone. That
yeah,
it's
no,
trying
the
to
writing
do.
is horrible.
And I
It
just-
is.
Dawn-
It's so bad.
Personally,
sorry.
I just like mentally checked out. I'm like, I just found it
Yeah.
really boring after a while. For me,
I mean, in
Yeah,
Dawn, the
get it.
stakes, and the tension in that movie feel much more defined than in Day. So when I'm not focused on
guess.
anything tension, when I'm not, you know, captivated by the tension of a scene, then I focus on other things to latch onto. So that kind of is why the music stood out so fucking much to me.
especially when the heroes are like connecting in certain scenes, like well, I forgot their names, but you know when he's
Yeah, like
like most of them are like robotic, especially the main woman. She's like very. I can't tell you a single thing about her character. Like I just don't remember anything. Like it's
the only character I remember is Rhodes, the commander.
Yeah,
And Steele, the racist dude, because he was so fucking annoying.
Steel. Oh yeah, horrible.
His
Horrible character.
like his character, oh god, like
Yeah, it's so bad.
I get it, racist dude say a bunch of fucking, say a bunch of slurs and get the people to hate you. Like I get it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, oh my god, are you like only racist? Is
Yeah.
that just your thing? Like
Yeah, it's
because if that. I mean, I hate to say this because these movies are nothing alike, but the example of redeeming a racist character or making a racist character somewhat likable is 3 Billboards. Like, that character has clearly, like, an arc and goes through a bunch of shit. And I know that he's a main character and this character is not, the Steel character isn't, but, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, there were chances where they could have humanized him or humanized any of the soldiers, but they don't do that. At least in Dawn, they humanize the characters.
I feel like if they had accomplished what they were trying to do with Dawn, it would feel too much like he was trying to cover the same ground again. I think.
Yeah, but I mean, all zombie movies are somewhat covering the same ground. So I mean,
because like
yeah, I mean, I guess so. I can feel that, but at the same time, it wasn't supposed to be that originally. It's kind of the producer's fault for fucking cutting his budget and preventing him from filming the film he wanted to make. Because from the sounds of it, that it doesn't sound anything like Dawn.
we just like contrast that with Sarah and her husband in comparison, like Fran and her husband and Dawn, and it's like the polar opposites of each other, like the most healthy relationship. And I don't know. I don't really have too many legitimate reasons. And I think that's fine. I can just
Yeah, which is okay. Like you don't have to have a reason to like a movie. You could just say, you know what, I like it, and like that's fine. That
there's definitely
like I have nothing against it.
There's definitely potential in it. Like I like the beginning dream sequence in the first part of the movie where she's
It's awesome.
yeah, it felt like all right, Romero doing what he does best and being creative and like doing this nightmarish tone, but then like you get to the actual like underground base, and it's like they're a mad scientist zombie. Get it?
The opening sequence. I don't know. The opening sequence was kind of cool, and then those zombie hands like came out of the wall or something. I
I wonder how
really
they pulled
remember
that off. That was very interesting.
Yeah, it was
I don't know.
interesting.
Yeah, I
Did they
wonder.
build like a
Yeah.
did they build like a whole paper mache wall or something?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they did, but like then how did they get? I mean, did they get all the zombie hands? Like, did they use like animatronics for some of them, or were they all real human hands? Like that scene actually got me thinking. Like I was like, huh, that was actually
That's what
pretty
I
cool.
wish
I
there
wonder
was
how they
more
pulled
of,
that off.
like more interesting things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yes.
That. Something I need to ask: do these movies take place in the same universe, like all three?
I think that they do, but I think Night and Dawn take place weeks or a couple months apart, whereas Dawn and Day take place years apart.
Yeah, because the world building like all directly contradicts each other in all the movies.
Because he originally wasn't going to make a
yeah.
trilogy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why.
But I mean,
I never
but
saw
at
it
the
in the
same
same
time,
universe.
but at the same time, there's enough there where I can tell what is what. I can tell that like okay, clearly this is supposed to be like Dawn is supposed to be maybe a few weeks or a couple months after Night, and then I watch Day and it's like okay, this is clearly meant to be at least like a couple years because everything is just fucking shit now. Everything has been destroyed. Everything's gone. Like I that's how I see it at least. So I mean. I can see how people would be incredibly confused by it. It's the same thing with Evil Dead, honestly, because like that
Yeah.
movie's timeline and timeline is very confusing. But at the same time, as long as you keep all three films in mind, you can sort of get the gist. I think it's the same thing here. You can sort of understand what's going on as long as you just understand that, like I mean, they're made decades apart, so you can't expect it all to be completely consistent. You can't really blame the director because I mean he didn't want to make a trilogy. I mean he made a trilogy and he's proud of them. I'm sure, or was proud of them. I'm sure. Rest in peace. But at the same time, like I think that criticizing it for world building, yes, is valid. But I think you have to add a huge fucking disclaimer to that, saying but he didn't want to make the trilogy and making every single movie a decade apart from each other is gonna affect the world building no matter what with any movie, no matter the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, with Evil Dead, I think it's a little more forgivable because those movies don't take themselves seriously like at all. They're literally like joke movies, but like with these movies, I'm fine with it. Mostly, I can just view them as like not canonically connected. They're all just zombie
Well,
movies.
these movies don't take don't take themselves very seriously. Dead movies, even Day, the one that arguably takes itself the most serious. Well, sorry, I think Night actually does, but Day, like which does definitely take itself seriously at points, is still clearly playing out as like just a fun romp in the silo of zombies. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
even though literally half the movie. Okay, I want to address something. I understand the gripes against Dawn for tonal shifts, but if you have a gripe against Dawn for a tonal shift and don't address the Day tonal shift, like come on. Like
No,
literally
there's
the first
definitely
half of the
tonal shifts in both.
movie, the first half
Yeah.
of the movie is just philosophical conversations with minor little moments of zombie action, and then the
Yep.
entire second half is just aside from a few scenes is just zombies and killing and dying and violence and like it's all just destruction.
True.
No, I
Like that
agree.
is a huge tonal shift.
I didn't find it distracting at all.
All right, well that's fair.
Do you watch
I mean,
movies?
I
it's
just
the way
I
they
just
set up.
yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Opinion?
It was just the way that they the way that they even set up like the way the world works in Day didn't even make a lot of sense to me in the first place because I was just thinking how the fuck did they even make this entire like cave barrier without attracting zombies in the first place, or like
Yeah.
like they constructed an entire fucking gate system and like
Yeah.
that's the only like zombies to get like
Yeah, that's
zero sense how
true.
that got
part
set
kind of
up.
distracted me too. I was like, okay, so how?
Wait, hold up. There's a character in Land of the Dead called Big Daddy. So
Oh fuck
Right,
me! No. Oh
What-
God, Romero, why
lost his
did you
brains.
return? Why did you have to go back to the Dead trilogy? Fuck, and then make a whole nother trilogy.
Yeah, that-
Fucking hell, Romero. My friend,
Try to
I
recommend
want to
those.
love you, and I do love you, but Jesus, what is your problem sometimes? Yeah.
Who trying to recommend the second Dead trilogy though?
Nah, bro.
I would rather not.
I'm trying to recommend
no.
Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
Talk about
Hell
something.
no.
Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about Zack Snyder's Dawn, but I was gonna watch it so I could like have a little like so I could like talk about it briefly. But I didn't
Army
give
of the
it.
Dead though?
I didn't give a shit enough.
It's just
No,
a
please, no,
it's a
please,
more
no.
traditional zombie movie. Like you hit
It's a
everything.
very
on
basic.
yeah, there's a checklist, and then Zack Snyder hit everything on the checklist, and it works, but it's not really special compared to the original. At least for me.
I just love how like his best movie is the movie he had the least creative control over. I know we talked about this earlier. I just love that people think he's talented,
Snyder-
even though he has like zero talented bones.
James Gunn is the reason that movie is even competent in the first place. Like,
Yeah, Dawn is only competent because he was following because he was following like a structure. He was following a skeleton key. He was following a connect the dots. Whereas with the other movies he made them wholly his own, and they're not good.
Does anybody have
Somebody-
anything else to say about Day of the Dead?
Shit movie, don't watch it.
Based movie.
It's so
The duality of man. What were you gonna say about
like
The last.
Yeah. Okay, I do want to say one more thing.
Wait, Bob.
And what?
Bob was gonna
Oh,
say
no,
something.
never
I
mind.
think.
Yeah, Bob. I thought.
I thought he. Okay, go ahead, Bob.
like so fun and such an insane movie.
It is.
Yeah, true.
And it
Oh,
has
but
its
in the
flaws,
ass.
but like
You're saying in the
Bob, did-
wrong way for me.
Just have fun challenge, bro.
No, it's not that.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
Wait, Bob, did you want to say anything about Dawn though? Because you left, so I didn't know if you.
Dawn is the movie that I don't have much to say about.
Oh,
It
okay,
just
never mind. We
doesn't
don't have to.
really grab my attention, you know.
All right.
All right, that's fine. I was just wondering if you wanted to say something.
Okay.
I put in my notes for like just a overall thoughts on it. I love how each movie is sort of emphatic of what decade it came from.
Yeah.
Like these are all very. Night of the Living Dead is very much a '60s movie. There's like scenes they're listening to the radio and shit, and like it's like this.
Yeah, sure.
The whole story with Orson Welles and War of the Worlds and shit, and the '70s. Like all of them feel like so. Like Dawn of the Dead is like the whole cast was like on like acid or some shit, and fucking Day of the Dead is like
Real
on
apocalypse now scenario. Let's get all the actors fucking hooked on heroin. Fuck it.
Day of the Dead was like all of them were on like crack cocaine. Like they were fucking losing it.
They were on crack cocaine because there was nothing better to do.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, okay. One more thing I want to address about Day is that I get the whole turn your brain off perspective. I really do. But I've never been able to just do that with movies. It's not as simple for me. I can't just turn my brain off because
Same.
I mean, the way I love movies is just like what I think about them, and like the more I love movies, the more I love the movie, the more I think about it, and the more I think about it, sometimes the more I love the movie, or the lesser I love the movie. Who cares? So I just going in, turning my brain off, expecting a movie that's probably going to disappoint me. That's not how you get me into a movie. That doesn't make me excited to see the movie. That just makes me think, oh, it's probably going to be a disappointment then if everyone's telling me to turn my brain off and just have fun with it. That's what that says to me. And I always go into a movie like at least with my brain, focused on the movie because I want to see a movie that, has something to say or does something that I really want to that I would like seeing. I don't know, and it's just turning brain off perspective. I don't get it. I get how some people are able to do that, but for me, it's just not that easy. I know that there are some movies where I'm able to be like sit back, have fun, don't try and like get all that much into it. But get all that much into the story because it's clearly not the focus. But in movies like that, the story isn't the focus. In Day, the story clearly is the focus. So when I'm told to turn my brain off, but the story, which is flawed, is inherent and at the front, I can't do that. I need to focus on what the movie is focusing on. A good example is The Raid Redemption. Like that movie is clearly not meant to be like clearly is not focusing on story and is just focusing on brutal action, brutal violence. And that movie works for me because it does what it's focusing on so well. And yeah, the story is flawed, hence why I don't give it like a perfect score. But I'm able to not turn my brain off, but I'm able to focus on more what the film is like wants me to focus on, as opposed to what it doesn't want me to focus on. And I think Day wants me to focus on the story, but I can't focus on the story without being bombarded with a bunch of things that I'm bugged about because, I just think the story is flawed.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously great gore. I love Bub, honestly. Bub's fun. But,
Bub is great.
I like how he gets his
Sad.
comeuppance by killing Rhodes at the end. But,
Basic.
at the end of the day, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna have fun in brief moments, and then I'm gonna turn it off and be like, wow, that wasn't that great, I guess. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
What's everyone think of score wise?
All right, let's get into scores.
Score time. Alright.
Nikki, what did you think of Day of the Dead?
I gave this movie a 4.
All right, out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we all do out of 10. Never mind. Sorry. Grub, what did you think, buddy?
8 out of 10.
All right,
Fucking
fair.
awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, that's fair. Jakob, buddy, what'd you think?
5.
Okay.
Nice.
Mhm.
Dinklefinkle, what'd you think, buddy?
I gave it a 3, but I'm thinking about changing it to a 2, so I guess a light.
Oh,
Jesus.
Damn.
It's not that
I think
Strict
that's a little
critic.
whatever. It's his rating. Who the fuck cares?
Strict
It's a fucking
critic.
rating. Who gives a shit? Seth, what'd you think of the movie?
That's fun to be hard, but it's shit. So I just give it like a low 5, I guess.
All right.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Ronnie boy, what'd you think?
I respect what it went for. It's better than the most zombie movies these days.
Yeah.
I just don't think it hit the intended emotions it wanted me to feel, and I couldn't connect with it. So, what did I give this? Oh yeah, 4 out of 10.
Okay, fair.
I forgot.
Bob, what'd you
Teen
think?
it.
Okay, so that's my favorite of the 3 movies,
Okay.
and I'll give it a strong 7.
All right.
Oh.
Sheesh.
Job.
All right. Vinny.
All right. It's mostly a guilty pleasure. Sure, the cake may not be good, but I love the icing. So I'm giving this a strong 6 to light 7.
Nice.
I just want to say that I appreciate everything that Dawn of the Dead is doing. I really do think that I honestly will always recommend it as part of the trilogy, regardless of my thoughts on it. I even see myself watching it a few more times maybe in my life. I
Dawn
just
of the
think
Dead.
that
It's the only one I'll probably rewatch.
I just think that that some of its beats, that what it's going for sometimes just doesn't connect to me. I think that like the whole humans are bad, humans are shit thing can only go so far. I wanted a little bit more nuance to that, maybe a bit more, just a bit more. And honestly, I don't know. We'll never know if George A. Romero's original, vision for this film would be better than what we got. But I'm pretty sure that if he were allowed to make it in its full unintrusive format, that we'd probably have something that is a little more, at least a little more nuanced. And
Okay.
that's what makes rating this movie so difficult for me, because I think that it does everything it sets out to do, even if it's not always successful for me. I think it does what it wants to do. So I guess I think enjoyment wise, I find myself pissed off a lot of the time just at so many things that just don't work for me. But at the same time, I think that it does exactly what it wants to do. So I don't know. I rewatched it. I had a difficult time choosing a rating. I was originally going to change it to a 5 because there is more stuff about it that I do kind of like. What I like about it is honestly pretty great, but honestly, the stuff that I don't like about it is pretty shit. So I think I'm just gonna stick. I think originally I went from a solid 4. I think I'm gonna change it to a strong 4. That's my final word. Strong 4 out of 10.
Cool beans.
Cool.
Okay, that was an hour and a half of talking about George A. Romero's Dead trilogy. How do we feel?
Brain, bro.
Hour and a half. Damn.
All right, let's
feel
wrap it up,
Okay.
boys.
Let's wrap it up.
So,
Oh yeah, that's
next recommendation.
That's me. Hooray! Originally was supposed to be this week, but we allowed Nikki to recommend the Dead trilogy. So my recommendation for next time, please watch this movie. If you're watching the video and you haven't seen this movie, please, for the love of God, watch this movie. You are missing out. I'm recommending the 2015 masterpiece by Laszlo Nemes. I think is how you pronounce his name. Son of Saul, which is
Let's go.
Son of Saul, which is like I said, 2015 movie released by it's either Laszlo and Laszlo. I think it's Laszlo because of the way it's spelled, but his last name is Nemec, so Laszlo Nemec. I don't know much to say about it. I've seen it quite a few times over the past year and a half. I love it so very much, and I've been wanting to talk about it with people for a very long time. And this is my chance. So, Son of Saul, everyone. 2015.
Nice.
Watch it, please.
Nice.
Solid 8 out of 10 movie.
And again, shut the fuck up. And again, there are going to be spoilers in the next conversation. So if you are going to join us for the next episode, you should probably watch the movie, unless you don't care about spoilers, which is kind of stupid. But whatever, fine, to each his own. But if you do care about the movie and you do care about being involved in the conversation, watch Son of Saul, released in 2015. It's easy to find. It's not on any streaming service, I don't think, but it's so easy to find a torrent. You can rent it.
Yeah,
it's so easy to find.
everywhere.
The Blu-ray is dirt cheap. Like if you need to, it's not hard to find. So yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. I also like to say, go stream the new Tyler the Creator album tomorrow.
Let's go.
Or today.
Yo, we're giving Tyler the Creator free advertisement. Fuck
Yes.
Edit that.
Sponsor us,
And,
Tyler. Come on our podcast, please, Tyler.
Thank you for
real.
watching this very long Kistopia episode.
Yeah,
And
Jesus.
that's it. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. Bye-bye.